Unit 5 review. Number 1. So before we even start number 1, the first thing you need to do is actually change EFG. You need to change EFG to EGF, okay? I'm sorry for making this mistake on the review. Generally, they are in alphabetical order, but sometimes they're not. So make sure that you change EFG to EGF. So that means we're going to have triangle ABC to EGF. And so we're going to try to determine which proportion is true. So the very first one, they have EF. And instead of going from this triangle to this triangle, they went and they chose another side from the EGF triangle. So they have EF over GF, which is perfectly fine. That means that this side has to be corresponding to this triangle. So EF, so there's EF is AC. Well, they say this is AB, so that's wrong. Okay, so let's try the next one. So the next one, they have AC over BC. So that means they're going from this triangle to this one, okay? So on this side, you should be looking at this triangle. So first off, AC is EF. So this is EF. So far, so good. Okay, next one is BC. BC is GF. Well, it looks like this one is correct. But let's disprove the other two. So on this one, we have AC, and then so they went from this triangle to this one on the same ratio. So they went to AC. AC has to be EF, as we just proved on the other one. Well, they say it's GF, so H is wrong. Okay, let's disprove the last one. The last one says it's AB over BC. So AB has to go with EG. Here they say EF, so that means this one is wrong. So J is wrong as well, so the answer has to be G. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Number 2, triangle ABC and triangle DEF are similar. So it means they are similar. So it means their corresponding sides are proportional. So you're going to have ABC over DEF. Oops, that's supposed to be E. There you go. So the first one they did 10 over 12. So they did 10 over 12. Well, 10 is on this line. 10 is AB, and 12 is EF. Well, AB goes with DE. So that means A is wrong. Okay, let's try this again. So again, we have ABC to DEF. Okay, on this one, they said 10 goes to 20, which is correct, because AB goes to DE. That's correct so far. They say that then equals 7 over 14. 7 over 14 is AC. AC goes to DF, which is right down here. So this proportion is true. So B is correct so far, but let's eliminate C and D. So C says a 7 over 14, which we just proven correct on the last one, is equal to 6 over 20. That's not correct. This 6 has to go with this 12. So that means C is wrong. Okay, last one. Last one says it's 10. Whoops. 10 over 7. Okay, so they, instead of going from one triangle to another triangle, they stayed on the first triangle. So they combined these two together. So if these two are a ratio, that means on this triangle, these two have to be a ratio. So let's see if they did that. They did 20 over 12. No, they went the wrong way. This one, This 12 should have been a 14. If it was a 14, then that would be correct, but it's not. So D is wrong as well. So B is the correct answer. Okay. Mike is designing a painting to go on the wall, not the way, the wall for school. He then made a scale drawing of his original painting to create a similar rectangular painting. He used a scale factor of 7/4 to create a rectangular painting. So the perimeter of the larger rectangle is 76 centimeters. What's the perimeter of the smaller rectangle? So the way that you're going to do this is you are going to divide the scale factor. So basically what he said is that from this triangle to this triangle, from this triangle to this triangle, he multiplied by 7/4. Sorry guys, my pen's acting a little weird. He multiplied 7/4. Okay, but he knows that this perimeter is 76. So it means we have to go back. We have to do opposite to get the smaller one. Well, opposite is dividing. So we're going to take 7/1 and we're going to divide it by 7/4. So we're going to divide fractions like keep, change, flip. So you're going to keep the first one, change the sign, and then flip the fraction. So then you're going to do 76 times 4. 76 times 4 should come out to, what, 304? Let me see. Yep, 304. So this is equal to 304 over 7. So then you're going to divide 7 into 304, which is 43.4. I'm not even sure if this one is actually on your test. So give me 1 second. All right, so no, it's not on your test. I'm sorry about that. The internet's kind of slow this morning. All right, so that's number 3. So you don't really have to worry about number 3 being on your test. It's just good to understand scale factors. Number 4, Jose was visiting his friend across town. He saw a map of the route he's going to take. The legend on the map stated that 2.5 inches represents 5.5 feet. Okay, every time you see something represents something, you automatically write it as a ratio. So do 2.5 inches over 5.5 feet. And don't forget the units, because the next part is where you have to pay attention. So it says how many inches would represent 7 feet. Well, since I'm trying to find inches, that means X goes on top because this is my missing inches. And then the 7 feet goes on the bottom because the feet have to line up. So now all you're going to do is cross multiply. So you're going to do X times 5.5, which is just 5.5 times X. And then you're going to do 2.5 times 7, which I believe is 15. Let me make sure. It's early in the morning. Nope, 17.5. Yep, it's about 6:30 in the morning, and I'm kind of tired. Okay, so 2.5 times 7 is 17.5. And then now you're going to divide 5.5 to both sides. So these cancel out. X comes down, and then you're going to divide 5.5 into 17.5. Well, you can't have a decimal on the outside, so you got to move it once. So what you do on the outside, you do on the inside. So all you're basically doing is dividing 175 by 15. Now, why did I say 15? It's 55. Excuse me. So it's 175 divided by 55, which comes out to about 3.18. And it does go on and go 1818, but you can just say 3.18 repeating. Or if you want to round it up, or, come on, pen, is equal to 3.2. Okay. The ratio of the width to length of the painting is 15 over 24, as shown in the scale drawing below. So that means I have a 15 by 24. So it means it's going to, if the width of the new painting is 7 feet, what's the width, what's the length in feet? Okay, so generally I have my length and my width switched, but so it should be 7 over x. Okay, so it should be 7 over x. Because it says length to width. So I know this is a little confusing because we're used to having the length on this side, and generally this really does not matter. What this is saying is the width to length. So it means this is the width and this is the length. So this is the width, this is the length, because it says the ratio is width to length. So if my new width is 7 feet, so that means my width goes on top. So you're going to do cross multiply. So you're going to do 24 times 7, which is 168. And then 15 times x, which is just 15x. So then you're going to divide 15 into 168. Well, 15 goes into 16 one time. 15 goes into 18 one time. And then 15 goes into 32 times. So my final answer would be 11.2. So if this figure confuses you, just cross it out. Pay attention to what this ratio is saying, width to length. Okay, that's how it's created. Hey, number 6. For an activity in class, students use pieces of rope to measure trails on a map of Yellowstone National Park. They use the map scale to determine the distance between 2 landmarks. One group measured the distance between Fishing Bridge and Bridge Bay on Yellowstone National Park state map. The string distance was 10.5 inches, which represents a real-life distance of about 245 miles. So that's my first ratio, 2.5 inches for every 245 miles. Another group measured the distance between Camping Grounds and Old Faithful on the same map and found the distance to be 3.25 inches. So it means 3.25 goes up here and miles goes down here. So again, we're going to cross multiply. So you're going to do 3.25 times 245. 3.25 times 245. This comes out to 796.25. Then you're going to do 10.5 times x, which is just 10.5x. And then you're going to divide 10.5 to both sides, which comes out to about 75.8. So I would assume what's the real life distance to the nearest mile? So you round this up to 76. And I believe this B was supposed to be 76 miles. Okay. I'll have that correction again for the sub. Just make 6B 76 miles.
Morning.
Good morning. So then let's go on to number 7. Jasmine enlarged a drawing she made in art class. What's the value of x? So we're going to set up a ratio. So I'm going to do 10 over x. So I connected these two as a ratio. So that means these two has to be a ratio. So then you're going to have 12 over 60. So you're going to do 12 times x, which is just 12x, and then 10 times 60, which is 600. So then you're going to divide by 12. Well, 12 goes into 600. Well, 12 goes into 65 times, so 12 goes into 600 50 times. So the answer is G. All right, last one. Beth was looking at the blueprint of her greenhouse. She knows that her dimensions of her greenhouse are to be 15 by 12 feet. The scale on the blueprint of the house is 1/3 inch for every 1 foot. What are the new dimensions of her greenhouse? So for every 1/3 inch, okay, do not change this to a decimal. Leave it as a fraction. I'll show you why. So this is 1/3 inch for every 1 foot is equal to, we got 15 feet and 12 feet. So I'm going to do 15 feet first. And x goes on top. So you're going to do 1/3 times 15. So that means 1/3 times 15 over 1. So that's just 15 over 3. which equals 5. That's the reason why you do not change it to a decimal. It's much easier to multiply it as a fraction because you can simplify it. And x times 1 is just x. So it's just x is equal to 5. That's my first one. So you're going to do it again. You're going to do 1/3 inch over 1 foot is equal to x over 12. Well, x times 1 is just x. So then you're going to do 1/3 times 12. So you're going to do 1/3 times 12, put it over 1 to match up the numbers. You got 12 over 3. 3 goes into 12 4 times. So that means this is 4. So it would be 5 inches by 4 inches. The answer is G. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. Please study tonight. This video is posted on Google Classroom and YouTube. So study. Please do your best. If you have any questions, come to me in the morning and I'll help you out. If you can't find me in the morning, look in the gym. Okay? Pause the video. Come on. Okay, guys, have a great day. See you tomorrow.